Hello and welcome to all the Hillians out there. I'm Joe. Do excuse me, I'm still a little under the weather, so this is going to be a very short stream. I have to warn people, this is going to be very short. I'm only coming on early because I'm really just wanting to rest my head as soon as possible. And I do have a few things I have to do shortly after 5, so EST, so bear that in mind. We have Chewy's Ace, Malink, and he's very happy about that. I'm very glad you like the thumbnail. I used it also over on Substack. Now, I'll just quickly go through these like I did the previous time for those from Brothers Hyrule. And for those on Brothers Corinne, this is going to be the 8th time. So, and as for Twitch, yo, I don't expect too many people over there. I don't have the biggest platform, but you're always welcome. Like, I'm glad if anyone sees this on Twitch. Michael Marpong wrote Santara commentaries. From what I understand, there's a lot of inspiration taken from Caesar's Conquest of Gaul, his commentaries, which are a fascinating read. He's a very talented writer. I think he draws a lot of inspiration from Rome, so good on him. Sorry, throat. Anyways, we have Catherine Elaine. She sent in Death of the Lake, chapter 6. She tends to produce very quickly. She's producing about 4 serial novels, week after week. She has an amazing work ethic, much better than mine. I'm producing several, but once a month each, not once a week. So kudos to her. We have Brother Alexander. He mostly does biblical stuff, mostly analysis of metaphysics, Christian metaphysics, and study of theology and biblical ideas, and analysis of the Bible, I believe. And he also occasionally writes fables and fairy stories inspired by the Bible, usually of Adam and Eve, from what I can tell. This was a very melancholic and touching story that I read. He's actually quite gifted with prose, and you could see a little bit of inspiration by Aesop's fables, which I believe he reads pretty frequently. So kudos to him. Yolanda Hildebrandt has come out with something called Silver Bolt Idea. I have very little knowledge of what this sort of story is. I don't really know. I haven't cracked it open yet. Kudos to him. Go check out his story. Tell me what it's like. Josh Tater's quite a talented writer. But he has an action movie review of Extraction or Extractus, something like that. It has the Thor actor. I forget his name. And it is... Okay, if I'm going to be honest, I don't really care for the movie. And the review, okay. But Tater's a talented fiction writer. I prefer his fiction to his reviews like this. Ow, my foot. Anyways, so let's see. We have Carl Brown, who has Take the Shot, which is a Western. He had sick family he had to care for. So he had to send in a older story. So kudos to him. And I really hope his family's doing a little better now. And nice guy. And very good writer. Andrew Smith wrote about mixed martial arts of sorts in ancient Greece. or a form of martial arts in Greece. And that's an interesting thing to write about. It was a very interesting topic, to be honest. I really do highly recommend his essay. Radical Edward wrote a review of Berserk. I'm not very fond of this anime. I actually don't like Berserk. I really, really don't like it. But Radical Edward is a smart guy, pretty good writer. And if you like Berserk, check out his review. I'm sure it's a good review. I thought his review was pretty good, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it. And of course, we have Ethan Sabatella, who wrote the second chapter of one of his stories. No. Sorry, dog's going off. So he wrote a review, and okay, of an Irish story. An interesting topic to review. M.B. Haywood wrote a prelude to bloodletting, and this is a new story of hers. And she's, well, her previous story was pretty good. What little I did read of it. So, do check out her story. It should be interesting. Ben Westenberg is, I think, in his 50s or 60s. He's really skilled. He writes really good stuff. Really good stuff. Mostly Arthuriana, I think. But the thing with him is that most of it is paywalled. So I've not read much. I haven't paid into his services. But I've read some of the free stuff when he's occasionally cracked open the door for free content. So he's very skilled, very talented. And you have the Black Knight with the Day of Names. He usually writes Sword and Planet sci-fi stuff. So I don't actually know whether this is Sword and Planet or fantasy. I assume it's fantasy. I don't know. But he's a fun guy. He writes really good poetry. The Black Knight. So do go to Substack and check him out. I believe I should have all of this in the description. Screw it. Sorry. Water. And we have, of course, my own contribution, the Lay of Marioleth. I'm going to be doing a essay on my lore here, but basically it's a love song of sorts, a kind of Baron and Luthien story. And in it, a Greek hero of sorts type. Sorry, I had to make sure the door was properly closed. A Greek hero of sorts meets an elf maiden and falls in love, and has to save her from a evil half titan, half fairy. And yeah, I know it sounds weird. It's very mythological, and it's all it's a story told in poetic fashion. Because why not do that for Valentine's Day? Why not do that? And that's pretty much all for that front. I don't have too much to add, but I will go into a little bit of Zelda because this is being broadcast over on the Brothers Hyrule as well. So, I think since nobody's in the chat, I have to pick up the ball and try to tell something. Even as my throat is killing me. I think that for Zelda, it's a franchise that I think was, to an extent, when it comes to romance, given it's Valentine's Day is just passed, I might as well stick with that theme. I think Zelda is a universe that has a lot of potential for adventure and great stories, but also for romance. And I think the trouble with the romantic element is that in a lot of Zelda games, you have quite a few people who are bound up into the Zelda Link romance, and some stories it works great, such as Skyward Sword. I recently did a video commenting on the fact that Skyward Sword has a great setup for the Zelda Link romance. And I think, in turn, though, when it comes to, let's say, Hyrule Warriors, I don't know if Zelda Link works. Just as Ocarina of Time, I'm not sure. And that's because Nehru really put up a really good argument with regards to that. And maybe I should look to see about where I'm at for re-uploading that stream as a video. The stream itself is still up, I believe, on Brothers Crane, but I should look up and try to see where I'm at with the re-upload, because I've been chopping it up into pieces, and I might just have to check that out. When it comes to sorry, I'm just noticing some minor weird stuff with. Okay. Anyways, I think with the Midna Link romance, because I'm basically doing a quick overview of all the romances here, I think Midna is one that seems to be popular. I don't know much about because I've yet to really take a deep dive into Twilight Princess. I'm still sorting out my way through Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past. And I've analyzed, or at least I've examined Skyward Sword or watched videos on it, well, more listened to videos on it, in order to better understand it. But I think with all the Zelda stuff, I'd like to look into maybe while I'm reading Legend of Huma, which as soon as I deal with some stuff and I get rid of this headache and I'm fully recovered, I'm going to definitely have to, record Legend of Huma, which should be hopefully up tomorrow. Hopefully. I've been a little under the weather for a few days now. So I hope people forgive me that much. I do owe a sincere apology for that. For Legend of Huma falling behind a little. It's been a rough week. Very rough. And on top of that, you have for other Zelda romances. You have Zelda and Link in the 80s cartoon, which was funny. I wish they would continue that series. That series was fun. It's a little weird and dorky, but there was a fun element. Maybe that should have gotten remade or something rather than X-Men. No offense to any X-Men fans who are excited for the new X-Men cartoon. I just think, why not remake like stuff that either failed or like, I don't know. I know X-Men sells better, but given Zelda's getting very popular these days, why not make something like an anime or something of Zelda? That a Zelda anime would be pretty cool. Even if they just did it on like regular day-to-day life in Kakariko, like, and set it up around something like building a cathedral or something, like Pillars of the Earth, or if they set it up with the idea of something like the Civil War just before Ocarina of Time. I think there was a Civil War around that time, a War of Succession, I believe. I can't remember, and I think there was. I'm pretty sure, like 80% sure. If they did something like that for a anime, I think that would have a lot of potential. Because, like, I understand you have Link and Zelda, who are the most popular things with Zelda, but I think it might be occasionally interesting to get into some side stories. Not like I'm not talking about the one idiot, the green guy, I forget his name, but because of my headache. But I know I'm showing off how noob status I am for Zelda lore. I really like. I hope the Zelda fans forgive me for this, but I think that it might be interesting to do side stories. Like you might have like a side story about, uh, uh, well, like I said, the Succession Wars, or um, uh, like the events leading up to uh, A Link to the Past, or um, the Four Sword era, something in that era. And side stories could be used to flesh out Hyrule still further and give a sense of adventure and fun. And I think if they're not directly portraying Link and Zelda, they could be used to highlight the importance of the Hero of Time's arrival on the scene, because the Hero of Time in The Legend of Zelda is very important. He's a very important character, and he only appears in a crisis. And it might be interesting when I say the Hero of Time, I mean like whatever, like Link is reincarnated when Hyrule most needs him. Well, what about when Hyrule doesn't need him? What's Hyrule like at those times? Is it fun and fancy free? Is it like pretty bad? Is like let's explore. Let's explore. And you explore that stuff, you world build, and then these elements can be used in a game or in an anime about Link, where like you have one which is about, let's say, uh, the like I don't know, a civil war of Hyrule in whatever era, and then you have a Zelda anime where it follows right after with Link as the hero, because in whatnot. And I believe I've lost two people in as viewers because I don't know if this bores people. Um, but doubtless some people came in hoping for Ma Link, which uh, if that's what people would prefer to hear me talk about, I don't mind. Ma Link, uh, as I said with Nehru, it's a pairing that I kind of wondered about, but he explained it, I believe, as something that gives a sense of, well, someone that Link could connect with, because she's very connected to the rural side of Hyrule, and Link is a child of the forest. And so it makes sense for a natural connection to form. And there's the whole nickname thing of Fairy Boy, and that she seems like the first friend Link really made, in a way. I believe that's what he explained. It's been a while since I talked to him or I saw that video. But this sort of thing is an interesting touch on Ma Link. Actually, there would be something, maybe just an anime of Ocarina of Time. I don't know if people would like that. How do you do polls in the chat? Maybe I should look that up. Okay, I can't. I can't. I don't know how to do that. Sorry for the techno stupidity. I'm very limited in my technological know-how. Let me see settings. I can't figure this out. I'm not going to muck around and screw something up. All right. So yeah. Now, if anyone wants to comment in the chat, feel free. to tell me what you think. Sorry, my throat's giving out. Okay, tell me what you think of the pairing or of the idea of a Ocarina of Time anime. There would be an idea. Maybe something on the succession conflict beforehand, the one where saw Ganon and the king bond together and explain why the king likes Ganon. And then you maybe portray Link, like in all his glory. And oh man, they could do so much great characterization for Link. It'd be great. I'm very, yeah. So I just think if they could, uh, but I kind of wanted to stick closer to the game. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like some things in the manga, but maybe stick closer uh, to the game rather than the manga. Like, not to badmouth the manga. The manga had a lot of good points, and I did do a video a while back about the dragon in Ocarina of Time, and the manga did a great job characterizing that dragon. And the bond between Link and that dragon uh, is one of them that it's one of the most heartbreaking and moving scenes in the whole of the manga. So that's something that I'm sure they could do really well with an anime portrayal, but I think maybe it might be more interesting to have them stick to more the game itself. And who knows? Maybe if an Ocarina of Time anime does well, they can then follow up with Majora's Mask. I would love to see that as an anime. That'd be awesome as well. Like, then again, I'd also want to see a Link to the Past anime. Oh my gosh, that'd be my favorite. Although Neru, I think, would disagree. I'm very fond of him. So, yeah, I went over the various people who participated in the Warrior Wednesday event, which I know it's been a whole day since, but I was not in any condition to do a live stream yesterday. And I'm pretty tired. I started early, and I said this would only be 20 to 30 minutes because I'm not in the best condition still. So I hope people understand why I'm going to duck out now, and I hope you all don't mind the shortness of the stream. I'm just not in great condition, and I'm very, very tired. And I've still got a lot to do tonight. So I hope everyone has a great day, and hopefully in my next stream I can maybe get someone else, maybe another Zelda tuber or something to compensate for this stream and its shortness and whatnot. I really do feel bad. I have got a lot of great people who have subscribed to both channels and to the Twitch account, and we have a lot of great Zelda fans, and it's just I don't do enough for you guys, so I'm sorry. And so I'll hopefully see you all next week. Hopefully I'll do a proper Zelda stream or something. I'll also have to figure out what topic to do for next week for a Zelda video, and we'll have to continue Hyrule and Focus soon. I really love discussing Link to the Past. So take care, everyone. Have a great day. Do check out the Substack if you enjoyed this stream. I should do some Zelda content over there as well and do a Zelda article or two. I'll definitely have to do that. So hopefully I'll have something for you all next week, both in terms of Zelda stuff on Substack and in terms of Zelda content and a Zelda stream for next week. So take care, everyone. Have yourselves a great day. Toodaloo.